All right, hey guys, welcome to Caliber Wings live stream with special guests today, fan collectors of the hobby. I'd like to introduce you to George Caravantos as well as Sotos Kakas, both Greek. And I will go ahead to let George introduce himself first and then followed by Sotos. All right, so take it away, George.
Hi guys, very nice to be here. I'm George Karavados from Greece. I'm an airline pilot, an A320 captain and instructor, and also I'm an air enthusiast, meaning that I do whatever I can with the aircraft. I also work as a photographer or journalist for some magazines around the world, and this is how our connection with Noel started.
Great. And Sotos?
Yes, this is Sotos Kakaletris, also coming from Greece. I can also call myself an aviation enthusiast, like George explained. And most people can recognize Aviation Project as my main label. I'm a graphic designer for the last years, and that applies mostly to aviation. And if we go some years back, then I'm also the founder of the airforce.gr website, which has to do with all aviation products. And among others, also models. So that's why we're here today, I think.
All right. Thank you very much, Sotos. Looks like I'm having some problems with my camera, so excuse me for a bit. So anyway, we're going to talk today about the Hellenic Air Force. All right. I'm very grateful that George and Sotos have approached Caliber Wings along the way when we announced the Ultimate Vipers, and with their input and assistance, we have gathered very valuable information. We have like close-ups, photographs of the aircrafts. So I would like George to maybe tell everybody, how he has assisted with us in the production process, and maybe even talk about the Hellenic Air Force a little bit. George?
Yeah, so Greece became one of the many users, actually I think 28 for the time being, of the F-16 since 1989. So the first F-16s arrived here in Greece in 1989. Throughout the whole years, Greece received up to 170 F-16s in different blocks, actually in 4 different blocks. The Block 30, the Block 50, the Block 52 Plus, and the Block 52 Plus Advanced. Externally, the main visual differences are compared to the Block 30 or the Block 50, mainly the same engine, and the Block 52 Plus or Block 52 Plus Advanced, they have different engine. So if you see that the block ends up on a 0 number, it means that it carries the General Electric. If you see that the aircraft ends the block on the 2 number, it means that it carries the Pratt & Whitney engine, the F100. So actually the main difference compared to this model and the previous model that you released, the Midkiller, is the engine. You can distinguish the engine from the curved nozzles that you see at the back of the tailpipe, where actually the Pratt & Whitney has straight lines. Another difference is in front. So the air intake on the Block 30 and the Block 50, it's much larger, where at the Block 52 Plus or Block 52 Plus Advanced, it's a little bit circular. And of course, all the F-16s have this tailored fin root extension where they house the drag chute. You don't see it very often on other aircraft, F-16 aircraft. So you have this extension at the bottom of the tail fin. And last but not least, the Plus means that it has the ability to carry CFTs, conformal fuel tanks. So in order to increase the endurance of the aircraft, all the Plus models have the ability to carry the CFTs. That doesn't mean that they have it attached all the time. They have the ability to remove it or put it whenever they want. Of course, there are many, many differences inside the aircraft, but we don't care about this right now because we examine the airplane from outside. So that's more or less about the blocks, the 4 different blocks that Greece has. And you can go ahead then.
All right. So thank you for that, George. So perhaps we can now move on to Sotos for just a little bit to let Sotos explain to us how he actually assisted us with the development. Sotos?
Yes, my part mostly has to do with the anniversary decoration that the F-16D type got for the 70 years anniversary of 337 Squadron. People will see that on the wing tanks of your model, Noel.
Yep.
And that highlights the long history of 337 Squadron and also Hellenic Air Force that goes even back even more than World War II in general, but for the 337 Squadron starts in 1948, that it's 73 years ago. So I think that, and I think that is something that beautifies the model, that gives another sense to this model more than the daily life and operation of the squadron of the aircraft itself.
Right, Soto. So just to ask you a little bit more questions so that our collecting base and fans can understand a bit more. So are you actually involved in like helping the Hellenic Air Force design various insignias and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what you described. But as you can understand, this has a lot of categories that you can help an Air Force with. I mean, you can start with what is very common in Air Force, designing patches and every kind of merchandise, and that goes up to decorating a whole aircraft, which I think it's a very interesting thing to do.
Right. So coming back to George, okay. So we have actually decided that the F-16D with the half glass camouflage would be the one for our second model in Wave 1. So like George, maybe tell everybody, how did we actually come up with this decision?
Yeah, so Noel, you approached me and you asked me about my opinion. I said that we have 4 options: the Block 30, the Block 50, or the Block 52 Plus, which I think it's my favorite, and the Block 52 Plus Advanced. And you saw the camouflages. You said at this point, according to your experience, it would be easier to start with this model. Since we had the ability to choose one of 3 squadrons, because this particular aircraft belongs to 3 squadrons, and the market had already the other 2 squadrons, the 340 and the 343 based in Chania. The only option was the 337. Nevertheless, as Soto said, this squadron is the 3rd oldest squadron in Greece. It's very, very famous. It used to have the Phantoms, the fabulous Phantoms, flying over the Aegean Sea, covering all the borders of Greece. And this transition took place in 2006, where the new F-16s Block 52 Plus arrived. For me, it was one of my best aircraft. They carry this emblem, this ghost emblem on the tail fin, which is very, very nice. And it's very, very distinctive. And I said, why not? Why don't we try this one? So the Block D model, which is the two-seater model, was a better option. And then the big question arose concerning if we're going to use the CFTs or not. Again, the market helped us about that because both other two models had already the CFTs. So I, and also, of course, you decided that it would be better if we have this spine look like this, which is very, very distinctive as well. And I said, yeah, why not? Let's go for it.
Exactly, because well, I'm one for challenges, as you guys may know, and for me, when I look at the Hellenic with the half glass, so for those that don't understand or didn't know before, the half glass is actually a coating on the aircraft, and this particular coating apparently it seems to like blacken the aircraft over time as it weathers. Is that correct, George and Sotos?
Yeah,
Can you...
exactly. If you see the photos of these first models when they first flew, they are exactly like the Block 52 Plus Advanced. They are very, very clean. So you can see these lines and these colors. But since we operated all the time, we had very, very difficult conditions like sun. We don't shelter all the aircraft. These, after a while, end up like this. And since you mentioned, Noel, this half-glass technology carries some grains, some flakes, some small flakes on top of the surface of the aircraft. So you cannot wash it or paint it again because its ability is to reduce the radar cross-section. It absorbs the radar radiation. And this is a different technology on each model. So on this particular aircraft, after a long time and after so much use, you cannot do anything about it except put it inside a hangar and repaint it again. But that's not so easy. I mean, you don't have the money to do that. So we left it like this, but nevertheless, at least for the modelers, it's a very, very interesting aspect because it's very, very hard, especially for Caliber Wings, because they produce a model for mass production to have this distinctive camo. By the way, it's called the Aegean Ghost, this camouflage, as close to the real one as possible, of course.
All right. So before I add my thoughts, is there anything from you to add, Sotos?
Regarding the camo, it's exactly like George said, and I think the secret also hides. George also implied that also hides behind the heavy usage of this aircraft every single day in the Aegean, intercepting. Basically, this is their role in 337 Squadron. So it's a combination of these parameters.
All right. So so you guys can see what I'm actually putting up onto the screen now, right? This the Viper image. You can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So can I just ask you, between this photograph and this photograph, is it just a lighting difference that makes makes this one darker, or is there actually some actual difference between this and this, such that this looks darker and this looks lighter?
May I say, please, because I took the pictures.
I'm sorry?
Can I say my opinion because I took the pictures?
Okay, yeah.
That's exactly the answer. I mean, this picture here in Souda, it's early morning. The sun is behind me, while the picture in Larissa, the one that you showed before, can you click it again?
Right. So they are exactly the same color in real life, but due to different lighting, we can see them on the photographs. That's different.
The other
right.
Photo,
so I think.
Can you click it? Sorry, no. Can you click the other photo of the aircraft? Okay, this photo is late in the afternoon. The sun goes down, and because it's banking towards my side, we have to mention as well that when I visited Larissa, we found this particular model and they flew for us doing some traffic patterns in order for us to be able to take a photo of the upper side. So it's banking towards me and it creates this darker image. So it's definitely time and place and weather conditions about that.
And if I'm not wrong, George, sorry, Noel, to interrupt,
yeah,
but if I'm not wrong, this photo here shows the D model carrying the decorated wing tanks, right?
Exactly.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
We were very, very lucky to have also your tanks, your fuel tanks on only one side. But nevertheless, because of the usage, they are faded away. So that's why we needed your help. By the way, guys, all these models were based in reality back in Chania. When all these models F-16s Block 52 Plus arrived, 337 Squadron was not ready yet to accept these F-16s because they were in transition of the Phantom to the F-16. So all these models were based in Chania Airport. And then after a while, in 2006, 337 started to acquire these 20 models. So they are distributed in 3 squadrons, 20 models each. So it cannot be different because they were all the same.
Right. Thank you very much for that. Anyways, for those who may not have caught what George mentioned earlier in the stream, all these photographs are taken by George. He's also a aviation photographer. So I think it's quite beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful pictures. These are real skill. He has connections with the airbase. Kudos to him, and thank him for all these excellent images of these Vipers for us to enjoy. All right, so I'd like to just also touch on what George mentioned about this half glass and how it, you can't really paint over it. You have just got to let it run its course, and once if it's really I guess you have got to go through a maintenance. Does it mean that they actually repaint it into something like this? Can you please let us know?
This is a quite different technology. The F-16 Block 52 Plus Advanced, which is the latest F-16 model, apart from the Block 70 now, or 72, had different technology. The latest half-glass technology is the half-glass 5, where you can see it in Aviano or Spantalo, some Air Force bases in Europe, where you can see the whole F-16 dark gray, very, very dark. And also the nose, it's quite different. This is a different technology. Yes, compared to this one and the Block F-16 Plus, F-52 Plus, it's different. That's why you don't see it so this is so clean. It's cleaner. Nevertheless, also this shows some kind of usage, and compared to the first photos, it's also very, very darker. But it has nothing to do with the Block 52 Plus. Don't forget that this aircraft and the other are nearly 7 years difference. And yes, if you want to repaint it, you have to take it inside, scratch it, remove the whole painting in order to reapply it. This is not something that we can do like in Greece. It has to be a special factory, Lockheed Martin factory, where they can do it. I think only one factory in Belgium can do that in Europe.
I see. Okay. Anything to add, Sotos?
Yeah, I agree with what George explained, and that's also my knowledge that this repainting process cannot be done in Greece. Belgium may be one country, and if I'm not wrong, also Poland. But that is the truth, and that explains more or less the optical difference between the Block 52 Plus and 52 Plus Advanced, based in Araxos Air Base.
Okay, got it. All right. So now I'd like to touch a little bit about the camel colors that is actually selected for Hellenic Air Force. I personally find that it's very unique. The colors is not like anything else from any other air forces. Now, could you let me know if I'm right that the colors were selected to reflect greenery of the landscape in Greece or something else? George?
That's why we call it Aegean Ghost. It has something to do with reflections of our Aegean Sea. If you see the aircraft overflying Greece while you're overflying it, you're not able to distinguish it, especially with the sunlight. And if it banks towards left or right, it's not so easy. Let me say that this camo was based on the actually Top Gun
Yes.
camo, which I think you're thinking of trying to duplicate. So back in the early 90s, I think, Sotos, you can help me with this one. They first applied this one on the Mirage F1, only one Mirage F1. And then they started practicing themselves on some F5s. All our upgraded Phantoms have this camouflage. So that was the beginning. And all the arriving F-16s had this camouflage, which I say again, if you compare this to the initial photos that we have, they are all the same. They have the same camouflage. But because of its usage or because of its technology, different technology, they started after a while to have these different color reflections. In the beginning, they were all the same. Okay, since we are examining this aircraft, which is the latest, only we and the Poles have it in Europe, it can sustain more or less its initial diagram and reflections.
Okay, Sotos, anything to add?
Yes, that is the truth. And if we go back, I think also that Mirage F1 was the first to get a similar camouflage than F5s and the Phantom, which indeed makes Hellenic Air Force having this special paint scheme in more than one type, and on F-16s on more than one block variant. And since you asked in the beginning about the greenery and the surroundings, that's why we probably see, on the other hand, airplanes like A7 Corsair getting this really green and brown colors, because it has to do also with the role of the type and of the squadron itself. Like if it is a bomber squadron, like 336 was before getting F-16s with Corsair aircraft, then you want to get this camo working over the terrain. Okay, so the role of the squadron and the role of the type, if it is for interception reasons, it has to adapt to the surroundings, like the sea and the sky, like George explained. So we have this beautiful result, because I think it's unique, but it's also beautiful to see this camo in Greece.
Yes, absolutely. This is a very unique camouflage that really makes the Hellenic Air Force, stand out, in my opinion. So, all right. Let's see. Between right now, I'm showing on the screen this C version and this one. I mentioned. I think I recall George telling me a story about this particular one that's been sitting in the sun for like forever. So could you maybe tell us a bit more about this?
Exactly. So 111 Combat Wing, which has most of the F-16s, and they are based in central Greece. in Nea Hyalos, they have acquired many F-16s. This is the Block 30, the first F-16 that we acquired in 1989. So they don't have so many shelters to put them inside. So imagine for so many years. By the way, Nea Hyalos, which is very close to Volos city, are next to the sea. I mean, you will see the runway beginning by the end of the sea. It's next to the sea. You have so much humidity. You have salt. Also with the sun, you have this result. So this aircraft sits on this tarmac for so many years, heated by the sun, and that's the result.
Right. And like, gentlemen, can you maybe let us know? Is there any reason why the ejection seat triangle was changed from orange in color to gray in the later ones, like this? Maybe Sotos, do you know that? Anything to add?
No, I'm afraid no.
No? Anything
you?
from you, George?
No. I have no idea. Maybe something that the Lockheed Martin decided to do that because it's standard also for the Polish F-16s, which have the same half-class technology, and they are Block 52 plus advanced. Maybe for some reason they wanted to do it darker because all the insignia on the aircraft becomes low visibility.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, and that also applies to U.S. Air Force. I think that's an adaptation to the latest U.S. Air Force tactics on painting the aircraft. And to be honest, having an orange color on the aircraft make it more visible, even if it sounds silly, but maybe it is. But that's only an assumption from my side also.
Right. Okay. So let me just see if I can pull up a picture of our model, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Hold on. Just let me let's see. Share. Okay. Hold on, guys. I got to navigate this back end. So let's see. Share the screen. Okay, hold on. So, application window. Photos. Okay, that's what I'm doing. All right, so I am this. Okay, so there we go. I just want to touch on how we actually derive at the camouflage. So hold on, I imported some images just now. Okay, so just bear with me a little bit. Sorry, guys. It's missing suddenly. Okay. Just go in. Library. Oh, there we go. I think it's I just saw it just now. There we go. Okay, I'm looking for the image that I put aside. Okay, looks like photograph is not helping me out. I actually got a image of the shell that I took a picture of. Let's see. Yeah, it's not showing right now. Okay, so anyway, so we've gone from this, which was the test sample that I did in October, where I tried to really mesh the colors so that it's not as distinct in terms of making the model look very bright and with the camouflage patterns distinct. So I tried to apply what I thought would look to simulate the half glass effect. And then of course we I guess you guys, did you like this, by the way? This initial rendition?
Yeah, a lot.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so hold on. So finally, what I did was I changed a little bit on the colors, and we finally derived with what we have over here, like that. So yeah. So it was quite a journey, you know. This half glass, this ghost camouflage is not something that is very easy to achieve. I don't think I've seen any real models that is done exactly as blackened as the real aircraft. So we are going to try to improve it further on the next Hellenic attempt, where we'll do F-16 C model with the half glass with the CFTs.
Have you decided the squadron?
I guess I'm still open to your input, because you guys are the experts in Hellenic Air Force. So I should probably hear you guys out.
Before we continue, let me grab this opportunity just to say something about the one that we have here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I remember Noel calling me or texting me, showing me these pictures of its model, and I was saying, very nice, this is an excellent result. But he wanted to make it darker, he wanted to make it more distinctive or not. Each photo is correct. I mean, its layout and its camouflage is correct. For all the modelers out there, it depends on the light that you see it. I mean, if you see it in the early morning, it will be like the one that we saw before. If you see it late in the afternoon, it will be different. That doesn't mean that the aircraft is changed. That's my first point. And the second, the most important, you cannot produce production, I'm talking about mass production, a model so accurate like the only one that you build inside your home. So you have to make some attempts, but then again, you have to make some sacrifices. Am I correct, Noel?
Absolutely. Because if you actually build the model by yourself, you can do all this the blackening effect by airbrushing or by other techniques by yourself until you're satisfied. But unfortunately, when we have a mass production in place, we have to have the colors that's correct, because the colors are all done on a like a wholesale level, right? Production level. So the colors, I guess the important thing is to select the colors. Once the colors are selected right, the model will turn out okay. The problem is that if you don't select the colors right, especially for a camouflage, you can't select the colors individually. You need to select them and then place them together and make sure that it feels right together. That's why we went through samples after sample. So unfortunately, I'm not able to find the photograph that I had saved aside for you guys to have looked. But essentially, it was to show the difference between what we did before when we tried to mash the colors together. It looked kind of right, okay, at a point of time. But when you put it together, it looks a bit different, so that we made some adjustments at the end of the day to try to put out something as accurate as possible.
I think it's the result. It's unique. I think it's very, very nice. At least in my own eyes. I don't know about you, Sotos.
Yeah, George, I agree. I mean, the final result is very realistic, and as you said, what applies to real life about the lighting conditions when you take your photographs also applies on a model basis. But it's the only difference is that we're 70 times smaller. But
Yeah,
more or less, getting photos of a model here is also equally tricky with getting pictures of the real thing.
Of Of course.
Being an external observer of this process between the two of you, I can say that the result is very beautiful and very realistic. And I agree, you have to compromise sometimes, and it's indeed really difficult to do that, and balance between the realistic result and the pain together in mass production. I think it's a beautiful model, and as similar as it can go to the real aircraft.
Well, thank you very much. Anyways, you guys, your copies are on the way to you. Pending how the delivery postman and couriers get it to you. We hope to get it to you really soon. And then you can see it for yourself. And I mean, in my opinion, seriously, the photographs doesn't do justice to what you see the model in front of your eyes.
Yeah, it's very impressive, and also, yeah, me too. It's very impressive even from the photos, and especially with all the extras that you have put. I think it's a very, very nice teaser for us. So about the hot topic of today. So
yes,
Sotos, you were saying something about your best aircraft.
Sotos?
Sorry, Josh, I missed the point. The first.
I interrupt you before concerning what will be the next step.
Sorry, Josh, I cannot recall.
We were talking about Noel Astas, which is our favorite aircraft for
the C. Yeah, that is hard. To be honest, let's start from step one. I mean, to be honest, I guess that also applies to you, Josh. I mean, we tend to have some squadrons that we love more. That has to do with our experiences as enthusiasts, some visits to their airbase, some friends we have there. So sometimes it's hard, sometimes it is easy to select the next squadron or the next version. So if we're talking about 52 plus, I guess, not the advanced.
I don't know, Noel. Can we have 52 plus advanced?
Yeah, why not? Because so of course we won't be putting it out. Sorry.
So then for me, just to finalize my thought, if it's the advanced one, then I would go for 336 Squadron Olympus, because last year, in the last quarter of the year, they got this tail mark. Actually, I helped them to get 336 Squadron was the last one not carrying a tail mark. So we designed this beautiful. People can say if it's beautiful, but
I'm sure it's beautiful.
This tail mark depicting Olympus mountain, the mountain of the Greek god.
Olympus. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. So that was the last one to get this decoration, and all single and double seat aircraft of the squadron get this decoration, this tail mark. So that would be my proposal as the last and the more fresh update in Hellenic Air Force. And actually, this squadron was the one that visited Cyprus lately, so that also has significance for Hellenic Air Force.
Well, since you mentioned about the Mount Olympus, it reminds me. So back in the day when I was doing models, I saw this F-104 with the Mount Olympus special livery.
Yeah.
I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys have seen it yourself and taken pictures yourself, right?
Yeah. It's actually inside the museum that we have of the Hellenic Air Force in Tatoi. It's a unique
I
aircraft.
see.
Imagine that this aircraft was painted, I don't know, 20 years ago. And it was unique. It's exceptional. I think it's one of my best aircraft.
Right.
Yeah. It must be in early 90s.
Yeah,
Actually,
exactly. I recall.
Yeah, I remember myself, I mean, being in high school or something. And to be honest, we have seen a lot of specially decorated Hellenic Air Force aircraft in the last 20 years. But in my humble opinion, this might be, it's the older one, but it might be the more beautiful one.
Okay. Can I have one more question? What can you guys tell us about the Zeus version of the Vipers?
Sotos, you want to start?
Yeah, Josh, you mean the demo team?
Yeah, the demo team, the Zeus. Yeah.
The
So
demo
there's one.
team.
Yeah. So there's one whereby it is not as colorful, and there's one that's really colorful, right? So there's two versions. Is that right? Could you maybe tell us a bit more?
Actually, in 2020, the demo team completed 10 years of life. It was their anniversary last year. So the demo team had 3 or 4, maybe Josh can help me, different versions from 2010 till the one you described. So it's different aircraft having it's like a process during the years. So the last one also was very significant and very beautiful, carrying this big Greek flag on the wing. The artwork team, in my opinion, did a great job. So it is indeed an aircraft that advertised not only Hellenic Air Force, but I think Greece as a country getting involved in all air shows in Europe.
All
right. So anything for you to add, George?
Yeah. As Soto said, they started in 2010. All these aircraft are operational aircraft. So the main idea started from Souda's squadrons, 340, 343. There were some guys who said, okay, why don't we have a demo team here in Greece? And they used one of our operational aircraft. In the beginning, they only painted their CFTs because it was, by the way, the only, for the time being, aircraft with CFTs as a demo aircraft. And they painted Hellenic Air Force on top of the CFTs. Then, after a while, they said, why don't we pay the tail fin? Why don't we pay the rest of the wing? So they made 3 consecutive paintings. By the way, they were not paintings, they were, I think, stickers, Sotos. Am I correct?
The first one was sticker, yeah. Just a sticker.
Stickers?
And then at the end, the one that we see, which is full of colors, and we see Zeus, which is an ancient god of power, and also the Hellenic flag on top of it. I think they first appeared in Royal International Air Tattoo back in 2018. And then after a while, if you see photos of it, you will see the stickers coming a little bit away, fading away, because of the hard maneuvers and the demo that it was showing. So after a while, we couldn't have it. I visited Souda last year, and I only saw the CFTs with the eagle, because they had an eagle painted. And the rest of the aircraft was not able to sustain these stickers, so they removed it, which is very, very peculiar, because you only have the CFTs because they don't wear it all the time with the eagle, and the rest of the aircraft it's the same. And we cannot paint it exactly because we said before the half-class technology. I mean, we don't have the ability to paint it. We just put a sticker on it, and that's the reason why they fade away so quickly. It's only for a couple of shows. Since we don't have a particular demo aircraft and we borrow aircraft, we cannot have the ability to have it permanently. So yes, you have different versions of the same aircraft. Actually, it's not the same aircraft. They borrow different models, and they put the sticker for a season or for 2 or 3 shows, and that's it. It's not like Thunderbirds that you paint the whole aircraft and you polish it every day before you do the show.
Yes.
Okay.
And an interesting thing that a technician had shared with me about the demo flights is that the strain and the damage on the aircraft in a single demo flight should be multiplied by a factor 10. Flying on a demo flight, it's like flying 2 times for an operation flight, if we compare them. So you can imagine what happens on the structure of the aircraft and what happens also to the livery.
Right. Anything else to add, George?
No, I'm happy. I'm okay.
Okay.
If
So
you want, sorry, I interrupt you. Say again.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. If you want to depict some parts of some paintings of the demo team, you have to select a year, because each year since the beginning there was an evolution. So everybody was doing a brainstorming, and they were saying, okay, let's paint it here or let's paint it over there. The last result that you see, it's the last one 8 years later. So it didn't start like this. Initially, they only had the painting on the CFDs, on the fuel tanks.
So is there like any new demo team schemes that's coming out that you know of that you can probably share or not?
Since there are not so many air shows, there's no demo team. Because
right, but I mean for future plans. I mean, yes, there's no more shows now. Obviously, for the pandemic, there's no shows. But I guess
the plan for the Hellenic Air Force right now, it's the upgrade.
I'm sorry.
I mean, the big plan for the Hellenic Air Force is the upgrade. All the F-16s, the Block 52 Plus and the Block 52 Plus Advanced, they are going to be upgraded. The first one departed on Thursday, flying towards United States. So the major concern for Greece right now is to upgrade all the F-16s, most of the F-16s. So there's no time for demo aircraft because they don't have so many aircraft.
I see. Okay. Well, anyway, for us Caliber Wings, we are definitely going to be doing at least 2 more Vipers from Hellenic Air Force. Not immediately, of course, down the line. One of them, as I've mentioned, is the F-16C with the CFTs. If I can just pull up the image again, hold on. Screen share.
If you're going to do something like that, I agree with Sotos. It would be better to select something like a more cleaner.
Yeah, that's right. So
cleaner version, because the market with yours has already 3 Block F-16 52 Plus.
Right. So this is the advanced, right? You mentioned this is the 52 advanced, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So yeah, I guess this would be something on our radar to produce down the line, as well as a single seater, probably with this one. It looks pretty cool. Maybe there's a cleaner version for this one. We'll just look towards you to get some more information.
The first one that you showed was the Block 30. This one is the Block 52 Plus that you have produced on the left side.
Right. Yes, so the one on the right side of the screen now. On the right side of the screen now?
This is a Block 52 Plus based in Chania Airport in Suda.
I see.
like the ones that you have, which is the, I think it's the single version. It's a C, yeah. It's an F-16C of 343.
Okay.
Can
All
we
right.
go a little bit to the bottom with one aircraft with its tailpipe? No,
This one?
One on top. Yeah, this one. I think this
Oh,
is
this
a very,
one.
very interesting. This is the Block 50. This is a very, very interesting model. It's exactly the one that you produced, the MiG Killer, but with
Okay.
a very interesting camouflage, as you can see. All the
Right.
years of this aircraft are being depicted on it.
Wow. Yeah. This is. I mean, from this photograph, it shows that it is visibly much lighter in color. Does it also have
Yeah.
the half glass? It has also, right?
I think it was the first application, but it's not so so distinctive.
Okay. And this one also, we can apply the CFTs as well.
No. Unfortunately,
Oh,
not.
no? Oh,
Because
okay.
it's
Okay.
not a plus. It's not plus.
Ah, got it. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Some options there. It seems like collector folks are eager to have some CFTs from us, so we'll probably select other schemes to apply the CFTs on.
Then I think the cleaner version is better. The
Right.
52 plus advanced. But it's you're the boss. You decide. Of course.
No, but I guess we again, I like to get inputs from everybody. So, for example, when I was working on the SU-20 fitter, I was actually given very good input from a German pilot. He actually has the fitter in his backyard. So,
Oh.
as promised to him, the first model when we get that tooling out would be to make his fitter. So I am definitely open to all input from you guys. When you guys are actually more expert in the field that you're in than myself. So I would definitely like to, go and approach you guys first for some suggestions. Yeah.
Yeah,
Depends
maybe
also on the
because
popularity.
Yeah, go ahead, Sotos.
yes. So yes, it depends on the popularity. So I already have shared my opinion, but also people who watch us could share a few comments on what would be the selection for the next Hellenic Air Force modeled by Caliber Wings.
Yeah.
So we would expect also their feedback.
Well, I'm seeing okay, so there's a comment here. It said to do the IRIS-T missile. So first of all, I need to tool that one, but can maybe Sotos or George tell us a bit more about this IRIS-T? It seems unique to, is it to the Hellenic Air Force?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
of course.
and yes. Sorry, George.
You go ahead, and then I will add.
Yeah, go ahead, Sotos.
Just a quick comment that that has to do with interception squadrons used by deception squadrons, like 336 that squadron that I mentioned a few minutes ago, and also an interesting detail is that IRIS-T missile is cooperating with Zehimic's helmet used by the pilots. So that's also a very interesting detail that can be adapted to the model itself. Carrying a pilot with Zehimic's helmet on his head.
All right, George.
Yeah, it's a highly advanced missile. All the F-16s, as everybody knows, it's they can do everything. It's not only a bomber or it's an interceptor. Multiple tasking, multiple ability. So depending on the squadron, because here in Greece, each squadron, as Sotos said, has, let's say, a main task and then a secondary task. You will be able to see this missile on some particular squadrons or not. That was our question about the Laterne. If you remember the targeting pod, you were asking me, should we adapt the targeting pod underneath the aircraft? And I said, well, the F-16 can do it, but then again, this particular squadron 337 doesn't do so many missions like this. They usually do intercepts over the Aegean Sea. and that's the reason why we didn't select it. So yes, depends on the squad. Depending on the squadron, you can either have this missile or something else, like a paveway, let's say, like a clever bomb.
Right, understood. Thanks, George. Also, another comment here, it says that the Block 52 Plus Advance will be great, cleaner colors and new lines and details. Yeah, so we'll definitely be looking forward to making those.
And this is the latest F-16 model. I mean, apart from the one that the Block 70 and the Block 72 Plus, Europe has only, I think only the Poles and the Greeks have this model.
All right. Okay, guys, we're coming up to the 1 hour mark, and I, thank you guys so much. We'll probably be wrapping up soon. So I thank you guys so much for your time today. It's over there 8 a.m. in the morning in Greece. Over here in my location, it's like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. So thank you so much for your time to come together on this stream to tell us so much more about the Hellenic Air Force, the various sorry?
Our pleasure.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it was definitely a very interesting meetup, knowledge session. And I really appreciate you guys, giving the input that is so valuable towards making this model a success. First of all, to George for his invaluable photographs. The photographs actually gave me a lot of inspiration. The clarity of the photographs allowed me to properly select the colors. The emblem for the 70th anniversary from Sotos was greatly appreciated. Otherwise, there's no way for us to get that onto the fuel tanks. So yeah, I mean, this is a great example of how the fans, collectors can work together with the manufacturer to produce something that is not bad, right?
I'd also like to thank you for inviting us, but also for making a reality these, for us, unique models, the F-16 models that the Hellenic Air Force has. And it's also our pleasure to contribute in every way. Thank you.
All right. Any last words from you, Sotos?
Yes, exactly. That was my pleasure to meet up here and share our opinion. It was really great talking with you two guys, and just to say that I'm already making place in my vitrine for the model, so I can't wait to get it.
Great. All right. So until the next time, I'm sure we'll meet up again soon down the line. Okay, when we make the next Hellenic model. But until then, I guess we will stay safe, keep in touch on Facebook Messenger, and we'll be in touch. All right. So that's it from me.
Yes.
All right. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.